Uja. I had my website crashed right when it was time to log in. I'm so glad I made it. I've started the habit of, instead of just typing my notes, I have a blog post. And I'll share that link with you now. How do I do that? Post. Nuffer, I had a little technical difficulty, so I'm still getting situated. Where do you view the post? I guess that'll work. Oh, but I need the link. Okay, so what is the link here? The link is... Oh, wow, that was crazy. Okay. The link to our blog is tachia.com/a-of-hetero. Okay. Ubeneffer. Yeah, so if you want to follow along, that internet connection looks really weak over there. YouTube. If you want to follow along, go to that website and it'll have my notes for the presentation. So, and I still haven't figured out how to share my screen with YouTube, so that'll come soon. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. Welcome to today's presentation of Ancient African Adorations. My name is Arit Netter Esmeri Maati, aka Tachia Ahmed. And I'm here at the Light Being Wellness Center, which is also the home to Asmatishi Temple of Divine Light Healing and Sweet Sound. And we have been following the Unitarian calendar of holy days, which is put out by the Temple of Amun. Let's see, we moved on to April. And they have the divinity of the season, divinity of the month. They have a quote from Sebama. And then they have the holy days, as well as the moons, equinoxes, solstices, and some, African holidays, Afrocentric holidays, has the national holidays. Ooh, August is going to be busy. So I've been presenting wisdom teachings and musical offerings in honor of the deity or the observance of the day. Invite another host and go live together. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Let's see if there are any comments here. Okay. So today is the day we honor HetHeru. And when it was time to prepare for this presentation, I realized that I don't have a lot of songs for HetHeru. So that's more work for me to do, because I know there's lots more teachings out there. And a little bit about the presentations. I've studied with Sebama and Sebajat at Kemet University and SEMA Institute Town Netter for about 12 years, and I guess it was 11 years last year. And after I did my summer solstice cleanse, the master cleanse, I go from June 1st to the 21st. And when that was over, my guide or spirit advised me it's time to step back from the studies and focus on the music and get the music organized. And so that's what I'm doing. I took time out from the studies and I'm focusing on music and recordings. And I don't know how to turn this off. There we go. That's easy. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm working on a CD of Ma'atical music. Was it Mystical, Magical, Ma'atical Music Collection? And also had the first live concert with my band since before COVID on Spring Equinox, which is amazing. And the next one's coming up in May. And even though it's a reggae music experience, it also features comedic reggae, comedic rock, and comedic dub. So it's very unusual and wonderful. Right. And if you have any comments or questions, oh, and welcome to you, divine light being. So let's see here. So I have that HetHeru is the power of the life force energy. She's the Sephic Bara, the Aritus, the Kundalini energy, the chakras, the Sekhem. She's the goddess of love, music, dance, joy, beauty, and passion. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So I didn't get to set up my altar, but I do have a beautiful statue of HetHeru that I got outside of the temple at Dendera. So I have her here. Just like I said, my website crashed right when it was time to, log in. So I'm still settling down from that. But I managed to maintain stillness, and I didn't freak out. I didn't start yelling or throwing things like I used to do. I remember one time I picked up off my chair, my daughter's chair, and I threw it across the room and it broke. I was having an argument with the internet service provider at the time. It was really funny. Okay, so before you recite from the Purdom Heru, we're instructed to offer certain chants or offering prayers. And one came through me that combines the three deities in one. So we're just going to start. So here's a lot of the prayers I share or offer in this Temple of Chant Nectar manual, devotional manual. And we have an offering at the beginning. Hotep di nesu netara anpu webwad neptajase per kedu kaka ped sineta adi makedu. Hotep di nesu netara anpu webwad neptajase per kedu kaka ped sineta adi makedu. Hotep di nesu netara anpu webwad neptajase per kedu kaka ped sineta adi makedu. Hotep di nesu netara anpu webwad neptajase per kedu kaka ped sineta adi makedu. Translation. Offerings given to the Supreme Divinity and to Anpu, Preparer of the Traveler, and Webwat, Opener of the Ways, Lord of the Sacred Land. The spoken offering is 1,000 beef complete maleness and 1,000 geese complete femaleness. This causes the divine to make one true of speech and enlightened being. And you may recall, I've mentioned before, that when we offering this prayer in particular, 1,000 beef maleness, 1,000 geese femaleness represents aspects of our personality that we offer up to the divine or to Amun. And the 1,000 beef maleness represents our attachments to physicality, sensuality, worldliness. And then the 1,000 geese femaleness represents all of our thoughts. If you get a chance to go to the Temple of Asar, there's a hallway with iconography where they're bringing in all this beef to present to Amun, and then they're bringing in all these birds, all kinds of birds, like caught in a net, to offer. And that's what we're offering, our flightiness, our spaciness, our too many thoughts. So a lot of times when they're offering physical objects, they actually symbolize something much greater. So we're actually offering things that we don't like about ourselves, or things that don't help us or don't benefit us. We just offer them to the divine. Like she's offering these two containers. Inside one of them is things you don't like, and inside one is things you do like. because you don't want to be so attached to things that you like that you can't let them go or be without them. So that's the idea for these offerings. All right, so now we have the opening chant of Asmatishi Temple. Om Nebuchadnezzar Kepra Asar Om. Nebuchadnezzar is the all-encompassing, all-embracing, all-knowing, all omnipresent, omnipotent deity known by many names, who thought creation into being, who thought of the breath, and manifested first in the form of Kepra, the creator, and then later as Asar, the universal soul, the divine soul. So first he came as a neter, a cosmic force, and then he came forth as a human. Take these off here. Om Nebuchadnezzar Kepra Asar Om. 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 Nebuchadnezzar Kepra Asar Om. Hetero. Next, we have the Four Great Truths of Chant. And I usually like to recite the translation first so that you know what is being offered, what's being stated. I really don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's just not staying connected. Everything else is okay. I'll figure it out. So the first one, Pandater Ua Ua Nebuchadnezzar and HetHeru. The Neter, the supreme being, is one and alone, and is Nebuchadnezzar, manifesting everywhere in all things in the form of gods and goddesses. Commentary. Nebuchadnezzar means all-encompassing divinity, the all-inclusive, all-embracing spirit which pervades all, and who is the ultimate essence of all. This first truth unifies all expressions of Kemetan religion. Thank you for being here. Your presence is a gift to me. That's my little tagline. Anma'at Swisai said, say commend. Lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters lead to ignorance of the divine. Fetters are, well, let's just read this one. When a human being acts in ways that contradict the natural order of nature, negative qualities of the mind will develop within that person's personality. These are the afflictions of Set. Set is the Neteru, the cosmic force of egoism and selfishness. The afflictions of Set include anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, gluttony, dishonesty, hypocrisy, shyness, timidity, remaining silent while being abused, anything lower nature, anything lower vibration. So to be free from the fetters of Set, one must be free from the afflictions of Set. Sewashu, Senafu, and Sayuset, devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. Arishadi Rek Abin Makdu, the practice of the Shedi disciplines, leads to knowing oneself as a divine. This is called being true of speech. This is the four great truths of Chant Nectar. Say what you say, not food, say you said. Adishadi Rakabim Makedu. Monitor, never shed him, Hetero. On the odds, we sell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not food, say you said. Adishadi Rakabim Makedu. Monitor, never shed him, Hetero. On the odds, we sell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not fool, inside you said. Adishadi Rakabim Makedu. Monitor, who never shed him, Hetero. On the odds, we sell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not fool, inside you said. Adishadi Rakabim Makedu. Okay. Yeah, so the Hekals, for me, that's one thing to read it in English. However, when it's combined with the melody and the music instruments, something, it takes it to another level. It goes deep inside of me, and the more I sing the chant, the stronger the chant grows inside of my energy field, inside of my body and my life. And then after a while, I'll see it reflected in my life. And that's why I'm continuing to do these presentations, because it helps me so much, because it's mutually beneficial for myself and for you, because it keeps me disciplined and I keep up with the practice, because every time I do this, more music comes through. So it's just unending creativity. Comments? Oh, thank you so much for being here. I won't say I have a digital tissue. I'll just say it's just, glory and joy for the creation. So thank you for being such a beautiful reflection. All right. So now we're going to do Anpu, Opener of the Way. And that is also found in this devotional prayer manual. I just took the lyrics and a melody came through. Let's see. What is it? Where is it from? It doesn't say. I'm sure it's just from the Perdemaru. Yeah. Okay. I thought it would tell me where it's from, but it's just a prayer to Anpu from here. And Anpu is the deity you've seen with the dog mask, the dog headdress. And he is the half-brother of Heru, the son of Nebuchadnezzar and Asar, and the nephew of Aset and Asar. Well, the nephew of Aset. And he's the one that, this chant will explain everything. He's opener of the way. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Remove obstacles in my success, in my spiritual practice. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Lead souls through the narrow pathways to know the difference between real and unreal. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Messenger in heaven and hell. Face black as night, golden as the day. Equally watchful by night as by day. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. May Anpu make my thighs burn so that I can stand upon them. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. I washed myself in the waters where Anpu washed himself, where he was the officer of embalmer and bandager. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. My lips are the lips of Anpu. 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 All right, Hetero. Yes, you can best believe I was chanting to Anpu when my website just disappeared. You know, like I said in the past, I would have gotten really upset. I was just laughing. And then right when I was about to, give up or call technical support or just say, well, I'll just have to do without it, I let it go, right? I let it go, and then it returned. So, okay. So now let's move on to the program. Those were the opening chants. All right. So this part of the program, we go over some of the, information I found just online. It's usually like Egyptologist. Sometimes it's another student of Kemet. You just never know what you're going to get. This is a website that's pretty consistent, touregypt.net, and they have a section, The Gods of Egypt. So if you go to my chia.com website, you'll find the link. But I have an excerpt here. So who is Hathor? Who is HetHeru? Hathor, let's get her right here. Hathor is a very ancient goddess dating to pre-dynastic times. When dynastic rule began, as Heru was associated with the king, HetHeru was with the queen. Her name translates to the house of Heru, HetHeru, and so she is associated with the royal family, but also as the entire world could be said to be the house of Heru. HetHeru can be seen as the mother goddess of the whole world, similar to Aset. Hathor's cult, or HetHeru's cult, is unusual, as both men and women were her priests. Most deities had clerics of the same gender as they. Many of them were artisans, musicians, and dancers who turned their talents into creating rituals that were nothing short of works of art. Music and dance were part of the worship of HetHeru like no other deity in Kemet. HetHeru herself was the incarnation of dance, and stories were told of how HetHeru danced before Ra when he was in deep despair to cheer him up. So that is from touregypt.com. See if there's any questions. Oh, thank you so much, Poulet April. Here we are on April 1st. So what a blessing to be visited from you today. Thank you. All right. And now I don't have an image. Let's see if I could find one really quickly here. I think I can. I know I can. ENIT image. Well, it didn't say I wasn't going to type it wrong. It's typos. I'm working up on being able to share my screen on these broadcasts. But for now, I've got this. Here we go. Oh, wow. I didn't know there was a Manit tribe. I'm learning so much today. I didn't know that. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Images. All right. So here are some images of Manit. Oops, not that one. I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we go. Some images of a Manit. And it's a special necklace that the goddess presents. It's kind of like it represents female. Oh, the reflection is not working. It's like a female phallus. It's an energy that we can give to someone else by sharing wisdom teachings. It's the best way I can describe it. But anyway, I just wanted you to see a picture. So let's go and see what the wisdom teachings say. The manit is a ceremonial object associated with the goddess HetHeru, whose priestesses are commonly shown holding the emblem. It's a pendant or necklace also. Queens and ladies of waiting, when officiating as priestesses, also wore or carried it. On rare occasions, it was also worn by men, particularly by priests of the Hetero cult, and it could also be worn by the god Khonsu. We believe that, like the sistrum, this elaborate necklace may have actually functioned as a kind of percussion instrument in certain religious contexts. Appearing first in representations of the 6th dynasty, the manit is associated with HetHeru in all subsequent periods of Egyptian history. Even when it was included with other items of tomb equipment as an amulet in the later dynasties of the New Kingdom, it is still associated with the goddess in her role as a deity of the Western necropolis and with her part in the rebirth of the deceased. Hence, it was certainly a symbolic item associated with the goddess HetHeru, who bore the epithet Great Manit. Many representations of HetHeru in her bovine form, the cow, show the animal wearing the manit around its neck, and the necklace is thus sometimes associated with other divine cows. Not surprisingly, the manit is depicted dozens of times in the reliefs of the late period temple of HetHeru at Dendera. And that is also from the touregypt.net on the manit. All right, now we're going to move on to the sistrum. And I have a beautiful, a beautiful sistrum that I got when I was in Kemet in, I think it was 2018. And it's beautiful. It has HetHeru here, and it's double-sided HetHeru, which represents the two sides, the two goddesses of Ma'ati, Aset, and Nebuhet. So there's actually 3 goddesses in one. And it has the solar disc with the horns, cow horns, and then there's the 3 upper chakras, 3 upper aritus, 3 upper Sefik Bara, and then this represents the heart chakra. So on this article, they have some images. I learned today that there's 2 forms of systems, the old one and then the new one. This is the newer one. So I'll just read a little bit from here. And this is from also Tour Egypt. This has a lot of information, so I don't know. Try to read fast. 2 forms of the ceremonial instrument may be distinguished, the oldest of which is probably the Naos sistrum, Naos, Seshesh or Shesheshet. While HetHeru's head was often depicted on the handles of the sistrum, an early travertine sistrum inscribed with the name of the 6th dynasty ruler Teti takes the form of a papyrus topped by a naos, which is itself surmounted by a falcon and a cobra, thus forming a rebus of the name HetHeru. Thus, the sistrum known as the Naos sistrum dates back to at least the Old Kingdom. It was usually surmounted by twin heads of HetHeru, upon which a small shrine or naos is papyrus. A vulture may crown the naos. The handle may be covered with the incised plumage of the bird. Rods were passed through the sides of the naos to form the rattle. Carved or affixed spirals framing the sides of the naos represented the horns of the cow-eared goddess. Notice that this earliest form of sistrum was often made of faience, which is pottery. And let's see, the symbolic value of the sistrum far exceeded its musical potential. It is thought the instrument may have originated in the practice of shaking bundles of papyrus flowers, hence the onomatopoeic named Seshachet. I think I call that an onomatopoeia with which HetHeru was associated. In fact, the papyrus plant appears to be at the base of the mythology surrounding the sistrum. It is from a papyrus Niaus thicket that HetHeru is seen to emerge. And it is also in a papyrus thicket where Aset raised her infant son Heru. Hence, through originally mostly associated. Okay, I'm going to turn this phone off. Somebody is trying to bother me. Through though originally mostly associated with HetHeru, the system is eventually entered the cults of other deities, and especially those of Amun and Aset. Yes, I recommend any book by Dr. Muada Ashby, Say by Ma. I recommend Egyptian Yoga Volume 1, which I can't show you because I lent it to my friend. But here is the Book of the Dead. Most of the books that in fact, all the books I get my scriptures from are from Dr. Muada Ashby. I think he has like 160 books now, or I don't know. But anything by Dr. Muada Ashby, I suggest Egyptian Yoga Volume 1. You can go to EgyptianYoga.com, and you can also sign up for the classes with Dr. Ashby and, well, they're both Dr. Ashby, Seba Ma and Seba Jai at Kemet University. I highly recommend you doing that. They have an amazing program, and I'm so grateful that I was led to them. Completely changed my entire life. It allowed me to heal from my assault. Nothing else was working. And, it was making me feel better, but it wasn't helping me change my mindset. It wasn't helping me change my mind the way this program has, and taken me to a whole nother level. There's a group of them in Kemet right now. They left on the 21st. I wasn't able to go with them this time, and I look forward to going back as soon as possible. But yes, anything by Dr. Ashby. And if you have any questions about any of it, just reach out to me. I love talking about the wisdom teachings. Okay, looks like I have this down here twice, so I can delete that. Okay. All right, now let's move on to some devotion. Actually, even studying the wisdom teachings is a form of devotion. It's an act. I consider it's an offering when you make time to study. Temple of Aset is all about studying the wisdom teachings. That's it. It's like the whole point of waking up is so that you can study more and learn more. And so Aset is the goddess of wisdom and listening. She has 3 steps to her practice. First, you listen to the wisdom teachings, then you reflect on the wisdom teachings, and then you meditate on the wisdom teachings. And that's why this music process is so wonderful for me, because as a musician, I study the wisdom teachings, and then when I reflect on the teachings or reflect on my notes, then there's always a song that comes through. And then when I sing the song, that's one form of meditation for me. And then afterwards, you just sit and let it all sink in. And so that's my musical studies. All right. So this next offering is again from Dr. Muada Ashby, the Temple of Aset, Temple of Neter. And I just wanted to read his description of this next chant for this HetHeru. Yeah, I think I wrote down the page 47. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here we go. Do a HetHeru Netrita. Adorations to HetHeru, the great goddess. Means adorations to HetHeru, the great goddess. It was written in the Dorian mode. It is a devotional to the goddess in her form as the great mistress of the universe. It was written in an expansive mood, feeling the glory of the divine and the warmth of the feminine aspect of the divine. Let's see. This this is talking about his recording of the song. I'm just going to be playing with the sistrum. The long commencement of the song with the sistrum is a homage to the goddess, as it is her special musical instrument, used to awaken the Arat, serpent power known as Kundalini in Indian mysticism. Instruments, we don't need to know that. So it's adorations to HetHeru, the great goddess. Adorations to HetHeru, the great power, Sekima. Adorations to HetHeru, the mistress of the earth. Adorations to HetHeru, the daughter of King Ra. And then that one line, Dua HetHeru Sekima, means adorations to HetHeru, the great goddess of the life force power. In ancient Kemet, the term Sekim means life force energy, like the chi of the Chinese and prana of the Indian yoga mystics. In her aspect as Sekhmet, HetHeru displays her power in much the same way as the goddess Durga displays her power in her aspect as of Kali. This song was performed in the Phrygian mode. That's something that I'm looking forward to studying more, is these two modes of the Dorian, which is kind of slower and more devotional, trance, and then the Phrygian is like more upbeat, like, dance music. Okay, so let me just add this here. Sekima Nebitawi. I didn't have the other lyrics. Nebitawi and Sat Nesura. Sat Nesura. Oops. Okay. Oh, and you know what? You can repeat after me. You can repeat after me, like call and response, or sing along with me, or just say dua, or I can't hear you, but this can be an interactive experience if you choose to participate. Dua HetHeru Netrita. Dua HetHeru Netrita. Dua HetHeru Sekima. Dua HetHeru Sekima. Dua HetHeru Nebitawi. Dua HetHeru Nebitawi. Dua HetHeru Sat Nesura. Dua HetHeru Sat Nesura. Now I'm going to replace the dua with nukpu, which means I am that. So we're affirming that HetHeru within us, within our lives. Nukpu HetHeru Netrita. Nukpu HetHeru Netrita. Nukpu HetHeru Sekima. Nukpu HetHeru Sekima. Nukpu HetHeru Nebitawi. Nukpu HetHeru Nebitawi. Nukpu HetHeru Sat Nesura. Nukpu HetHeru Sat Nesura. Dua HetHeru. Dua Netrita. Dua Sekima. You are never Tawi. You are Satnesula. Nupu Hetero Netlita. Nupu Hetero Sekima. Nupu Hetero never Tawi. Nupu Hetero Nesura. Tap. Little typo. So HetHeru is one of my favorite goddesses because she's considered the most powerful goddess, because we're not going to study the myth today of HetHeru and Jehuti, because that has its own holiday. But during the time when Ra sent her to earth to eliminate the unrighteous, and she loved her job so much that she started to kill people indiscriminately, and then Jehuti was sent to bring her back to her divine state. The fact that she was like full on Sekhmet, just like bloodthirsty, just killing, just everybody left and right, and just like in a drunken stupor of blood and killing. She was able to, just by hearing these parables of Jehuti, in other words, tuning into the divine cosmic mind, she was able to remember her divinity and return to her rightful state. And so, I'm on my spiritual journey. However, I've not mastered these, aspects or spiritual tools. However, I have used them successfully. And like I said before, when I was younger and did not know myself, when something like my website crashing right before I was supposed to use it for something, I would have been berserk. Like I said, I picked up a chair, threw it across the room, and it broke. I was yelling and screaming at the poor technical support person on the phone. And that was just like me every day. I would just get mad at things and just, And I'm so glad I'm not like that anymore. It's so much better. And that is 1,000,000% because I've been on this path. So anyway, this song is one that I wrote because to me, HetHeru is peace. So this song is available on my Blue Lotus Speaks Volume 1 CD, along with the Anpu chant. Nupu HetHeru, I am HetHeru, I am peace. Nupu HetHeru, the great goddess. And if you are a man, you can sing these chants too, because we all have male and female aspects within us. We have male and female divinities within us. We have male and female ancestors. And in the spirit world, there is no gender. There's no separation. So just because you say you are the great goddess, that's not like, oh, or when I say Nukpu Asar, I'm not like trying to be anything other than what I already am. I don't have to change my body parts to identify with my divine inner masculine. Nobody does. That's a choice. Nupu HetHeru, 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 Neterita, Nupu HetHeru, Neterita, Nupu HetHeru, Neterita, Nupu HetHeru, Neterita, Nupu HetHeru, Nupu HetHeru, Nupu HetHeru, Nupu HetHeru, Nupu HetHeru, Nupu HetHeru, Nuku HetHeru, Nuku HetHeru, Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, 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 Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. A tap. Nuku HetHeru, Nateri Ta. I am the great goddess. I am peace. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't bring the translation. I'll be right back. It's in the other room. Okay, I'm back. I am getting organized. I still have a long way to go. At least everything is all in one folder. It's just not organized in the folder. And I think that the lyric translations on here. Otherwise, I just have to estimate. I'm not sure if it's in here. Oh, I think it's in the other book. Yeah, it's from HetHeru. Okay, I'm just going to paraphrase it. I don't know it exactly. Okay, let me just look one more place. I don't like to give the wrong information. Should be here. Yeah, I found it. Yay! Okay. All right. So this is my favorite HetHeru song. So I'm going to read the translation and then offer the chant. HetHeru, raise yourself up, stand up in your true form as the great goddess of power, the life force. You are the mistress of the world. You are all-encompassing divinity, the light of the world. The people on earth and gods and goddesses all praise your name. You are the mistress of the world. You are all-encompassing divinity. And whenever I sing this song, I like to stand up. You'll still be able to see me, but HetHeru, I am second ma, Tenabatawi, Tenabatawi, Ubindawi, Rakatiri, Netaruri, Anataskara, Tenabatawi, 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 HetHeru, I am second ma, Tenabatawi, Tenabatawi, Ubindawi, Rakatiri, Netaruri, Anataskara, Tenabatawi, Tenabatawi, Read translation again. HetHeru, raise yourself up. Stand up in your true form as the great goddess of power, the life force energy. You are the mistress of the world. You are all-encompassing divinity, the light of the world. The people on earth and the gods and goddesses all praise your name. You are the mistress of the world. You are all-encompassing divinity. HetHeru, the great goddess of beauty. Okay. And that is another song by Dr. Mwada Ashby. And he has given the temple musicians permission to record and share his music as long as we give him credit. So I'm doing my best to always give him credit, because I am so grateful that I came across his book. How did I find this book? I was visiting a friend. I was living in California, Bay Area, and she was, looking after her baby. And I was just looking through her library, and I said, "Oh my gosh, Egyptian yoga! What is that?" Because I had not studied Kemet at that point. I started off as Rasta, then Black Hebrew Israelite. Then I got into the Native American traditions, because that's my lineage. I got into yoga, East Indian yoga. I got into Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism. I was in Soka Gakkai for 21 years. And I almost got initiated in Shango when I was in Rio de Janeiro. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Something told me to just pursue Kemet, and I'm so glad that I did. It really has been amazing, because all the other traditions helped me feel better. It helped my cult, it was a cultural connection. I felt connected to people. I felt grounded, but I was still traumatized. And none of it was helping me deal with the trauma at all. It wasn't. With Buddhism, I was manifesting. With yoga, Eastern yoga, I was doing postures and meditating and breathing exercises. And Black Hebrew Israelites, I was keeping the Sabbath, Passover, Sukkot, Hanukkah, all of them. What's the summer one? I can't remember the one. I can't remember the name, but I was doing all the traditions, and they were wonderful. Native American, I was going to sweat lodges. I had a medicine bundle. I had a medicine wheel garden. Everything was wonderful, but I was still traumatized. I still didn't know myself. I was still freaking out, still throwing furniture and breaking things. I remember one time I threw a glass. I was so mad at my ex-husband. I threw a glass across the room. Luckily, it didn't go anywhere near him, but you can see on the floor that it made a mark on the floor. I know it's probably hard to believe. I'm probably too much information. I'm just trying to show you how far that I've come thanks to these teachings. All right, so now let's dive into the teachings of Sema Institute and Temple of Chant Neter and the books by Dr. Ashby. And again, if you want to follow along, this is where I have, we're not going to go over all of these references, but I have the list of references to HetHeru that I found in some of my favorite books, and the lyrics to the songs that I'm offering, translations. And eventually I'll go back and make the post more complete. I'm just so grateful to be doing what I'm doing right now. All right, so like I said, I have way too much information here. We have about 30 minutes, right on time. Okay, let's see, where should we begin? See if there's any more comments. Thank you for being here, Sage Clark. Okay, so yeah, if you want to follow along, go to the website. And let's see, African Religions, Volume 4. Page 70-72. All right, so this is a quote from the Resurrection Scripture, verse 4.3 and 4.4, page 70 and 72. Verse 4.3. The God spoke in the presence of his majesty, saying, Let thine eye go forth, and let it destroy for thee those who revile thee with words of evil, for there is no eye whatsoever that can go before it and resist thee, and it when it journeyeth in the form of HetHeru. So this is part of the legend where HetHeru was sent to earth as the eye of Ra, It's called the Eye of Ra, the Eye of Heru, the Eye of HetHeru, the Eye of Jehuti, the form of HetHeru, and then it's got some iconography, page 71. And then on page 72, we have verse 4a. I'm not going to read the whole verse. I'm just going to read the part about HetHeru. Thereupon this goddess went forth and slew the men and the women who were on the mountains and desert lands. And the majesty of this god said, Come, come in peace, O HetHeru, for the work is accomplished. Then this goddess said, You have made me to live, for when I gained the mastery over men and women, it was sweet to my heart. So this is when Ra's like, okay, you did your job. Come on back. And she's like, oh, no, no, no. It was sweet to my heart. I should like to continue feeding upon men and women. Then the majesty of Ra said, I myself will be master over them as their king, and I will destroy them. And it came to pass that she of the offerings, HetHeru, waded about in the night season in their blood, beginning at Sutin-Hinin. Then the majesty of Ra spoke, saying, Cry out, and let them come to me, swift and speedy messengers, who shall be able to run like the wind. And then it goes on to what happens next. But that's just to show you a little bit about HetHeru. She thought she was the God. All right. And then verse 4h is from the myth of Jehuti and HetHeru. 4h. Oh. Where is 4h? Here we go. So this is just a little bit about the legend of HetHeru and Jehuti. This is verse 4h. This is from the book Resurrecting Osiris, African Religion, Volume 4 by Dr. Moan Ashby. Some say that HetHeru, the goddess of beauty, the Eye of Ra, transformed himself into the form of a lioness or lynx and killed the evil people who plotted against the Lord of all. Having killed all those who were evil, she forgot her true identity and became addicted to the taste of human blood. So this is Dr. Ashby's gloss, like his commentary. She continued to kill everyone she could find as she roamed the earth. Then, seeing the humankind would soon come to an end, Ra sent the messenger of wisdom, Jehuti, to bring his daughter back. Straightway, Jehuti transformed himself into a baboon and found HetHeru. At first, she threatened to devour him, but he cleverly enticed her into listening to the divine stories of gods and goddesses. He told her about Ra, her father. I mean, she had spiritual amnesia. Like, sometimes I have spiritual amnesia, and I go to my wisdom teachings and my chants to bring me back to my divine state. Listening to the divine stories of gods and goddesses, he told her about Ra, her father, reminded her of her beautiful human form. He spoke of her glory as the Eye of Ra and the honor with which the people of Egypt bestowed upon her. Gradually, her desire for blood and killing dwindled, and she began to desire to regain her former place as the mighty goddess of beauty and passion. Thus, Jehuti, the cosmic mind, led her back to Kemet and back to her rightful place among the pantheon of gods and goddesses. Wouldn't it be wonderful if all we had to do was walk about the earth reciting wisdom teachings from Jehuti and people would just like wake up? That would be so wonderful, but it's not that easy. And let's see. Okay, 7 had to do the cows. That's a good one. Page 77. It's on the very next page. So HetHeru has many forms as the goddess with the headdress, with the solar disc and the cow horns, and then the goddess with the cow mask, the cow face covering, and then the goddess as the cow, like the Milky Way. And then also the Eye of Ra. She's also symbolized as the right eye of Ra. And then when you see reference to the 7 cows of HetHeru, that's referring to the 7 bulls of heaven of Asar. And also the 7 chakras, the 7 Sephic. My Anpu dog just graciously stepped over my harp. I'm moving it out of the way. She's letting me know she's ready for her walk. Okay, the seven Hetero, seven celestial cows, and the bull of heaven, Asar, who provides sustenance to the initiate. Mystically, Asar is the spirit which manifests as creation through the seven levels of energy consciousness from the papyrus of Ani. So anytime you hear reference to a physicality like the eye of Heru, not right now, Sybil, it's actually referring to a spiritual awareness or a spiritual level of consciousness. Not right now, Sybil, we have to wait about another 30 minutes. I know, but you're going to have to wait. She's not too happy about that. Okay, there's so many wonderful ones. Okay, we've got to do this one. This is the one about HetHeru bringing Ra out of his depression with the dance, because she's the goddess of dance. There is a goddess of music, the goddess Merit or Mert, and then HetHeru is the goddess of music also. So I was surprised to find out about Merit. 26. 26. Verse 144. Seeing this, okay, let me go back a little bit. Verse 144. Oh, okay. This was when they were trying to decide if Haru should be king or Set should be king. And there was a whole big battle and ordeal. And Ra was really getting tired of this. He was like, ugh, can we just get on with today? And so everybody was worried about him. This is verse 143. The company of gods and goddesses, the Pauti, asked Baba to leave since they feared that they had angered Ra. They feared that he might stop the revolutions of the boat of millions of years and thus bring all creation to an end. They tried to talk with him, but he refused to listen to them. He retired to his abode and refused to return to the court. Sounds like an eclipse. The great god Ra was growing weary of the contest between Heru and Set and passed a whole day lying on his back in his arbor, and his heart was very sad, and he was all alone. Verse 144. Seeing this, the beautiful daughter of Ra, HetHeru, decided to implement a plan to bring the sun god out of his despondency and to encourage him to once again assume his place in the court. She began to dance around the court while stripping off her clothes. The gods and goddesses crowded around and began to laugh and applaud her artistic and passionate expression. After a while, this commotion attracted the attention of Ra, who returned to see what was going on. He saw the beautiful HetHeru and began to come out of his negative mood. HetHeru, lady of the southern sycamore, came and stood before her father, the master of the universe. She uncovered her vulva for his face, and the great god smiled at her. Verse 145. Ra then returned to take his place among the Aeneid and instructed Heru and Set to put forth their case so that the court may hear it again. Okay, I'm not going to just act like I didn't just say what I just said. Egyptologists and people who are not spiritually based, they really have a time with this verse from the scriptures. And we have to, people have to remind me that we must not use human values on the Neteru. We must not project our judgment of this situation onto the situation, because these are gods and goddesses, and they don't have, sexual, or well, Set does, but they don't have like sexual urges and getting all excited. Her ripping off her clothes is just her revealing her essence, revealing her true self with joy and love and beauty and gladness. And, she raised the vibration. I don't think she lowered the vibration. She raised the vibration. And she just, when she revealed her vulva, she was revealing her source, her inner source. And Ra being born every day from Goddess Nut, it was like seeing his rebirth. That's my interpretation, not anyone else's. I'm just here to say that do not project human values onto a divine situation. Like REU and karma, people crying out for justice, but we don't know the REU of the person who committed the act, the transgression, the violation. We don't know the victim or the survivor of the violation. We don't know the REU of the officers or the judges. And we have to learn to trust the gods and goddesses, trust Ma'at, trust Nebuchadnezzar, trust the divine order. We can have our own opinion, and that's all that we can have. We should not judge. Alrighty, let's see if there's any comments here. Oh, wow, okay. Ashe, Lola Bruja. I totally understand where you're coming from. I personally had so much anger within my cell's molecular structure from childhood and past relationships. Reiki and energy healing has helped me. Yes, for when you're dealing with trauma, until you deal with the energy healing of it, you're not really going to heal. Same with like if you have a broken arm, your bone may heal, but 20, 30 years later, it still could be sore because the trauma is still there, and we have to release the trauma. You can release trauma through energy work, like she says, Reiki or Raseiki, which is Kemetic. Have you checked out Kemetic Reiki? Raseiki. You can use visualization. You can use music, chanting, dancing. There's lots of ways to raise vibration, release trapped emotions. As a matter of fact, this morning for the new moon presentation, it was all about releasing emotions in a way that brings about wellness rather than So choosing how to respond. So thank you for your comment. Okay. So that is how HetHeru, which is the love of beauty, the life force energy, can bring Ra, the creator, or you and I, out of depression with a dance. That's a hint right there. Okay, there's many more here. I'm not going to read all of these. I already said that. Okay, there's two more I want to read. Well, three. Okay, well, substratum of creation, page 142. Okay. This is a gloss from Sebama. This is his discourse on the scriptures. So this is his gloss on the substratum of creation. Ma'at, Hetero, and Jehuti were not part of the Aeneid, yet they played important roles in the Assyrian myth. As stated earlier, the Neters of the Aeneid are Ra, Amun, Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Asar, Aset, Set, and Nebuchadnezzar. Hetero, Jehuti, and Ma'at represent attributes of the Supreme Being as the very stuff or substratum which makes up creation. This means that they are the elements which the creative principle uses in the act of creation. So, for example, the first thing that happened when Khepera brought forth creation was Ma'at. Before anything is Ma'at. So everything is built on Ma'at. And the reason things aren't going well in the world today is because people have forgotten Ma'at. People have forgotten Ra. This means that they are elements which the creative principle uses in the act of creation. This idea may be better understood through the following simile. Consider a lump of clay. The clay can be given several forms, but the substratum of any form which the clay is given, be it a pot, a plate, a bowl, a cup, etc., will always remain the same, clay. The composition of the clay does not change. In the same manner, Hetero, Ma'at, and Jehuti represent attributes of the Supreme Being which do not change, regardless of the forms which objects in creation take. Therefore, they are the constant absolute principles among all that is changing, chaotic, transient, and therefore illusory in human principles they are the constant absolute principles among all that is changing, etc., in human experience as well as in creation. HetHeru represents the force of spiritual energy which drives the entire universe, the life force energy, the relentless order and synchronicity of the planets and stars, as well as the order of events which occur in the life of every human being, is symbolized by Ma'at, and the light of consciousness, which is the underlying characteristic of all sentient life, is symbolized by Jehuti. Do a Ma'at, do a Jehuti, and do a HetHeru. Let's see. I wanted to do the 7 cows of HetHeru and the perfect black, page 158. I don't know. I had HetHeru on this page. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is a quote that I am going to make a small video about because I get questioned about this a lot. Okay. So they're talking about, so we're talking about here. This is the place of hidden things. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Just know that we're talking about the place of hidden things, a place where nothing grows. It's a place of absolute stillness, a region that is devoid of forms or mental concepts of any kind, the primeval celestial waters from which creation arises, the place which is hidden from that which is in motion, the relative reality, therefore is hidden to those whose minds are in constant motion due to desire, cravings, emotional attachments, greed, etc., brainwashing, ignorance, denial. Those are my added comments. That which is relative or temporal emanates out of that which is absolute and eternal. The relative reality emanates from the hidden place of stillness. It is to this place of stillness where one must go and have communion with the divine. When this occurs, that which is hidden is revealed. This deepest and most dark realm of the Duat is Asar himself. And this is why Asar is referred to as the Lord of the perfect black, and is often depicted as being black or green of hue. It is also why Nut, Aset, and HetHeru are also described as dark-skinned. They are emanations from this realm of blackness, which is described as a void or nothingness in the hieroglyphic papyrus entitled The Laments of Aset and Nebuchadnezzar. This notion of nothingness is akin to the Buddhist notion of Shania, or the void, which refers to the area of consciousness which is devoid of mental concepts and thoughts. When there are no thoughts or forms in the mind, it is calm, expansive, and peaceful. When there are thoughts in the mind, the mental awareness is narrowed and defined in terms of concepts. I'm going to stop here. This is really crucial because a lot of people I get into arguments about, or not arguments, debates over why I still choose to refer to myself as black or blackness as a good thing. There's some people out who say that there's no nation called black, and not everyone is black because we don't all have the same amount of melanin and all these ridiculous concepts, and they're missing the point. The blackness, the perfect black, is consciousness. And then they say, when you look it up in the dictionary, blackness means nothingness and void. And that is the goal. We're supposed to be able to reach that state of consciousness. But when we're arguing with people over laws and identifications, and you're not black, you're brown, and you're not black, you're white, and all this other stuff, like I mentioned earlier this morning, we all come from the first humans, and the first humans on Earth were black. Now, I'm not talking about clones. I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm not talking about reptilians and human form. Okay, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the first humans on Earth that were born from a woman. Now, there was a time when women did not need to be inseminated by men. They were just born from women because women were so powerful. So anyone born from a woman, that's what I'm talking about. We all came from the first woman. Okay, that's enough of that. And I think that's pretty good. Yeah. I wanted to share what Seva Ma says about the Minat and the Sistrum, and then we'll go to the last music pieces. Okay. See, 168 and 181. Oops. You had no clue there was a comedic. Oh, yes. You have to look up Raseki. Raseki Arts. Let me look up the website. I'm gonna look up the website really quickly here, and I'll show you. She is jamming. I would like to be like her someday. She's got classes, she's got books, she's got trips to Kemet, she's got workshops, she's got rituals. She is jamming. I mean, I'm really proud of her. I'm so grateful that I know her. Okay, so it's raseikistore.com. She does crystals, she's got herbs, she's got a team of people helping her. She's got temples, she's got priestesses. And I studied, I've been initiated in levels 1 and 2. I have not tried level 3 yet. Raseiki Store. She's on Instagram. She's finally on TikTok. I've been telling her about TikTok. She's everywhere. Yeah, you'll love it. If you're into Reiki, you will love Raseiki. You're going to thank me for this. Oh, you already did. Haha, okay. Okay. 167. Thank you for staying with me all this time. I know I'm having a lot of extra things to say. All right. I just wanted the Manat. Let's see. That doesn't seem to be the right page. Oh, 168. Okay. There was so much information on HetHeru. Wow. No wonder she has like 5 holidays in this calendar year. All right. So this is Dr. Ashby's definition of the Manat. The Manat necklace is a distinctive ornament of the ancient Kemetic goddess. The ancient Kemetic word Manat is synonymous with HetHeru, and its root is the ancient Kemetic word for nurse. Oh, I missed that the first time. It is held to be the combination of the male and female generative sexual energies. See, I said the male, but it's the male and female. So it is the goddess who transmits the life force energy to the initiate. This energy arouses a movement towards spiritual aspiration and self-discovery, leading to enlightenment. For more on the teachings of Tantrism, the role of sexuality in spiritual life, see the Egyptian Yoga Guidebook number 3, Egyptian Tantra Yoga, Sexual Energy, and the Evolution of Human Consciousness. So just from reading that gave me the impression of HetHeru's dance, that it arouses a movement towards spiritual aspiration and self-discovery rather than a movement towards sexuality. So there it is right there. That's the difference. When HetHeru is stripping off her clothes and dancing, she is revealing her true self and arousing a movement towards spiritual aspiration, because she also represents the second, the Kundalini energy that rises. And most people, when that energy gets going, it just stays in the lower chakras, right? It doesn't go all the way up. And that's what we have to learn how to do. And then page 181 is the system. Oh. Okay. let's see, this is from the writings of Plutarch, the Greek writer. Okay, here he talks about Saberma talks about the Naos. I had never heard about it before. I didn't notice it before. The system also shows that existent things must be shaken up and never have cessation from impulse, but as it were, be wakened when they fall asleep and die away. For they say they turn aside and beat off set with the system. Corruption binds nature fast and brings her to a stand, frees her and raises her from death by means of motion. Now the the system has a curved top, and its arc contains the four things, or the four upper chakras. For the part of the cosmos which is subject to generation is circumscribed to the sphere of the moon, and all things in it are moved and changed by the four elements, fire, air, water, and earth. And on the arch of the system at the top, they put the metal figure of a cat with a human face, and the bottom, below the shaking things, the base sometimes of Aset and sometimes Nebuhet. This has the double faces of a HetHeru, symbolizing by the faces generation and consummation, for these are the changes and motions of the elements. And then what does Dr. Ashby say? He's just talking about what Plutarch talked about. And I think that's all for now. He has a lot more to say. Oh, here we go. Let's have this last line. This process further relates to the awakening the mind to the futility of trying to satisfy the desires of the lower nature, the fallacy of vanity and egoism. Woo! I just know someone who had those acrylic nails, and they have infected her hands so badly she has to have 2 of them amputated. I'm working with her to see if we can save the rest of her hand. I wish I had my system when she was about to go get them done. Ugh. And the fleeting nature of happiness, which is gained through and is dependent on worldly attainments or achievements. Further, the sistrum refers to realizing the transient and relative nature of human existence and the discovery of a higher vision wherein the divine is to be recognized and experienced. It means moving from ignorance to true knowledge and from the pain of human suffering to the glory of divine inspiration and abiding happiness. All right, now we're going to move into, and there was so much to share. All right, here we go. So here we have from the HetHeru, chapter 5. I'm just going to sing it musically, offer it with this beautiful heart from Edfu, Temple of Heru. Gotta get it just right. Chapter 5. Recognition of Goddess HetHeru as the power to live in righteousness. Page 193. HetHeru is the day of Amun. She is also the dweller in Ut, and she is also the mistress of the exalted blessed land. She is the eye of Ra, and she dwells in his forehead, which is a beautiful face in the bold of forever. She is a seed of peace from which righteousness and truth can be done within the abode of the favored ones, the blessed beings. She makes it possible for the boat of the sun to make its journey in Mahati. Chapter 5b, the chapter of being in the presence of Goddess HetHeru perpetually. These words are spoken to Asari. Behold, I am a pure traveler. Behold, O Hai. Let me be among those who follow the goddess Hetero. Never attack. Yes, this is my favorite portion of the program where I just put the teachings to music. And then in a few years, I'll have a new album. Okay, so we're going to save the gloss from these passages for another time. And I'm going to save that for another time. Wait, let me see. I don't think that was very long. Page 243. Set volume. Oh, that's from Pergamum. I don't think this one was too long. Page 243. Pergamum, page 243. Okay, yeah, that was kind of long. This one is about the 7 celestial cows. So I want to save that for another time. And that one is making a righteous appeal to God for being given sustenance in the netherworld and spiritual enlightenment. The thing about the Pert and Peru is people think it's only to be read from when someone is dying, but it's also to be read as part of our daily practice because we're here living on earth and, we're like asleep to the reality of life. And so when we read these passages, it gives us, spiritual courage, spiritual valor, spiritual strength, so we can have a spiritual victory. It's a cure for spiritual amnesia. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, then a few proverbs. Because he also, I think this was his first book. Sebama's first book was this Egyptian proverb book. And on page 107, let's just do it with music again. I am the lotus pure, coming forth from the God of light, the guardian of the nostril of Ra, the guardian of the nostril of Hetero. I make my journey, I run after him who is Heru. I am the pure one coming forth from the field. Good job. Coming forth from the fields. According to the Pert and Heru and our very wise ancestors, there's actually something called the field of peace in the Duat, in the netherworld. And what was that tool that is used earlier with the shaking? noise. Oh, this is called a sistrum. And it represents the 4 upper chakras. Well, this one has the heart chakra and the 4 upper chakras. And it's used to defeat chaos and the slave unrighteousness and awakening us to our divinity. I actually have an extra one, and I'm going to find out if I can sell it. So if I can sell it, I'll let you know. It's handmade in Egypt, in Abydos. So any comments here? Yes, spiritual amnesia. Yes, I have a folder of wisdom teachings and, things to do when I have spiritual amnesia. The thing is, when I have spiritual amnesia, I forget to go to my folder, but it's there, and I know it's there, and just knowing that it's there is powerful. Okay, and so the last, well, okay, not the last. I'm always saying it's the last one. We're at the home stretch. Okay. Okay, so HetHeru Volume 1. So in this series, Sebama takes different chapters or topics and translates the scriptures. It's amazing. And he's come up with this system called trilinear method, where it has the actual scripture with hieroglyphs, and then the phonetic version, like the one we can understand easily. Then it has the actual translation, and then his, I don't want to say his guided instruction or his interpretation, I guess, or is it transliteral? I need to figure out what he calls that. I don't know. This translation gives you, I talked about how the ancestors left instructions to attain enlightenment, and Sebama adds, like his commentary to it. So I've chosen this one from page 87 from the beautiful tomb of Nefertari, the wife of Ramses at Abu Simbel. If you ever get a chance to go, it is beautiful. The colors are still there, I guess, because it was covered in sand for so long that they're so well preserved. You're just like, how can this be thousands of years old? It's beautiful colors. So anyway, here she is doing her devotion, just like I'm doing right now. And there's this beautiful prayer to HetHeru. With adorations to Amun. And so the translation is, adorations to HetHeru, words spoken by she who is an Asar. When you become initiated in the tradition, you become an Asar. And first wife and queen Nefertari, the beautiful, beloved of goddess Mut, and true of speech, spiritually victorious. So when these words are being spoken, they're being spoken about you, not just Queen Nefertari. It's you. I'm reading this for you. When we say Asar and then there's a pause, you insert your name. Because all of these experiences are our experiences, because all of these cosmic forces live within us. And we learn about ourselves by learning about the netters. And then once we know ourselves, then we know Nebuchadnezzar. When you know Nebuchadnezzar, you know everything. So that's what's going on here. I think I'm ready to play the harp. I haven't really played it very much. Because, HetHeru is all about the sistrum, but this is going to be beautiful. So when they get to this portion of the program, I have not rehearsed these songs. It's just music that comes through with the teachings. Okay, you'd like to buy it? Okay, well, I'm going to check with my colleague in Kim, because I brought it back for someone who had already paid for it, but he never claimed it. So I'm going to reach out to to my colleague and Kemet and make sure it's okay. And then, I mean, it's already been paid for. So I don't know. I just feel better if I check with him first. So I don't know if we're following each other already. But if you follow me, then we can communicate about it. Do a Hetero, a J in the song. So him at our Nefertari. Let it move, do a Hetero, let a J in the song. So him at our Nefertari. Let it move, do a Hetero, let a J in the song. So in the dirt, Nefertari, let it move, do a Hetero, let a J in the song. So in the dirt, Nefertari, let it move, do a Hetero, let a J in the song. So in the dirt, Nefertari, let it move, do a Hetero, let a J in the song. So in the dirt, Nefertari, let it move, let it move, do a Hetero, let it move, do a Hetero, let it move, Adorations to HetHeru, words spoken by she who is an Asar and first wife and queen Nefertari, the beautiful beloved of goddess Mut and true of speech, spiritually victorious. HetHeru. All right. And I have also studied with Queen Afua. If you don't know about this book, you need to know about this book. Even if you're a man, your woman needs to know about this book. Your mother needs to know about this book. Your sister, your auntie, your cousin, your niece, your daughters, your granddaughters. Any woman needs to know about this book. Every woman. Like Shotgun. Every woman. I'm every woman. Every woman needs to know about this book. Sacred Woman, Queen Afua. I should have a special session just to go into the book. But for today, I'm just going to say she takes you through the 9 gateways of the life of a woman and brings about profound healing transformations that remove blocks in life, physical blocks in your life that are results of spiritual toxic energies, stagnant energies in your life. And so in chapter 4, of course, she's dealing with sacred beauty of the goddess HetHeru. And I just wanted to offer, she has a sacred beauty prayer. And we're instructed to shake bells, beat a sacred drum, or play another instrument. She doesn't say sistrum. I have my sistrum at the beginning and ending of this prayer. Beloved Creator, may my body temple become a sacred altar, clothed in an array of rainbow colors, reflecting the beauty and boundless creativity of your light, so that my body temple may honor my beautiful spirit. May divine beauty be anchored in my harmonious thoughts, and may my peaceful attitude and consciousness be reflected in the sacredness of the beauty of the Creator, so that others may be uplifted by the sacred beauty I emanate in all my ways. Do a hetep. Do a HetHeru. Do a hetep. All right. That is the end of our program for today. We have another one scheduled for tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. The Joy of the Pauti of the Anunian Gods and Goddesses. That's the Aeneid. The gods and goddesses we were mentioned earlier. Ra, Asar, Aset, Nebuhet, and Set. And then I might add a few others. And then that's on April 2nd at 7:30. Then on April 19th, we have the festivity of Ra and his followers. And April 21st, the feast of Goddess Wadjet. I'm also doing the presentations for the celestial events, the new moons, the full moons, equinoxes, solstices, retrogrades. Do the spiral dance medicine wheel. That's at the solstices, equinoxes, and mid-seasons. We'll have the May Day mid-season coming up on May. The calendars for the ancient African adorations and the cosmic chimes and chanting, so you can keep up with that. You can sign my mailing list and get the newsletters. I have a texting list where you can get text reminders for my events. For more information on the music, tachia.com, wellness, lightbeingwellness.com. If you'd like to order your copy of the calendar, the Unitarian calendar of holy days, Amun, according to the Temple of Chant Netter calendar of holy days. And I also have been using the Earth Center calendar is a Sirius sidereal calendar. And I like following this calendar because it's tuned to Sirius. And it uses the traditional 10-day strengths. I don't say weeks, I say strengths. The 10-day strengths, it has 2 days of rest in each strength, and then an ancestral holy day, a divine holy day. And then the 13th month, because you know I'm into 13-month calendars. All the indigenous calendars that I've studied are like this. They have 12 months, and then they have a 13th month that is only a few days. Like this is 5 days. The Horoscope's 13-month Kemetic solar sidereal calendar has the month of Scorpio has 7 days. Even this calendar, the Chant Netter calendar, it has its strength in July in alignment with when Sirius rises, and that's when we observe the birth of the Aeneid gods and goddesses. So if you want to know more about the calendar, watch my presentation from this morning when I go into, how the calendars change. And also April 1st, I posted a video on TikTok about the origin of April Fool's Day. Originally, April 1st was considered the new year because it's right after the spring equinox. So April 1st was considered the New Year's Day up until the 1500s. And that's when they changed the calendar over from the Julian calendar, which had April 1st as New Year's, to the Gregorian calendar. And we know they did all kind of crazy stuff when they did that. I mean, who celebrates the beginning of the new year in winter? I'm not going to go into that now, but watch the replay from the new moon, and you'll learn more about that. So anyway, April 1st is actually the natural new year. After it's the first day of the month after the equinox. Okay. And so if you want to order the calendar from the Earth Center, earthcenter.org. If you want the Chant Nectar calendar, templeofamun.com. If you want more wisdom teachings, Kemetic yoga, Egyptian yoga, chants, meditations, and there's a class for a Temple of Aset. There's a Temple of Amun, Temple of Asar. There's the Introduction to Egyptian Mysteries. There's a class on a Amenemope. There's a class on the Tefnetzeru Simapau yoga system, and I will be teaching that soon. At that, you go to EgyptianYoga.com. So I just want to express my gratitude once again to the preceptors at Temple of Chatan Nectar, Temple of Aset, Say by Ma, Say by Ma, Say by Ma, Say by Ma, and Say by Ja, Dr. Maud Ashby, Dr. Karen Ashby, and all the members and initiates of the temple. Everyone has played a huge role in my transformation and my ability to manifest my enlightened lifestyle. And I'll be releasing more new Kemetic music very soon. I'm working on the Kemetic Blue Lotus Speaks Volume 2, which will be about Ma'at. And the next reggae concert, which is live and live stream, will be May 17th. You can watch the replay from the one we did on Spring Equinox, which is original reggae, indie reggae, native reggae, celestial reggae, cosmic reggae, and Kemetic reggae, world music, Kemetic reggae, Kemetic rock, and Kemetic dub. So if you're interested in that, the Kemetic dub is this. My wonderful band is playing grooving dub lines, grooving your favorite dub bass lines, and I'm chanting Kemetic over it, and it's really powerful, and it's not happening anywhere else that I'm aware of. So it's a one-of-a-kind, unique experience. So you can still catch the replay for that to chia.com/springquinox-2022. So that's all that I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence is a gift to me, and I really enjoy these presentations. Thank you to those of you watching live and those watching the replay. If you tuned in late on TikTok, you can go to YouTube and watch the replay. It'll be up as soon as this ends. And please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi. I don't know. Again, I'm very grateful to the Netters and the ancestors, and I'm grateful for my gifts. And I know that I laugh a lot and make jokes, but this spiritual journey is very serious. SIRIUS, which is another asset connection. And I'm just glad and happy. And when I'm glad and happy, I laugh. And some things are just funny to me, like even the scriptures, the story of Ra and Aset, when Aset poisoned Ra. I cannot tell that story without cracking up. It is just so funny to me. So anyway, do a HetHeru, do a HetHeru, do a HetHeru Neterita, and do it for all of you. Oh, lotus flower. I know how to do it. Lotus flower. HetHeru. Thank you so much. Thank you, Simba. Thank you for being here. Oh, okay. Well, I'm about to close it out now, but I'm so glad that you were here, and I look forward to talking with you again in the future. HetHeru.